got him on Juice Plus, and he really, like, all of his numbers stayed steady. He now, after several years of being on Juice Plus and doing dietary changes, he did have to start medicine now, but um that happens. And for those that don't know, my sister, who is my upline, has a great story. And it took a little while. That's, we love to tell people, like, you might see changes at 4 weeks, but it might take 4 months until you see those changes. And her big thing was having her allergies kind of really, really improve. Like, one day she opened the car window and opened the window in the house, and she was like, oh, wait, I just opened the window. Like, you would go in the car and she was like, don't open anything. Don't open the house windows, because she was so allergic, like double antihistamines, like steroid shots, like all that stuff. So sorry, I went a little off track with my story. But I love this community. I love the people. The shakes, I probably have some form of a shake every day, like whether it's a shake or I put it in oatmeal. And yeah, my tower garden is wild, and it's always I just love learning and seeing what grows the best and what my family likes. So I'm excited to have Trish join me, and I think this is great. And thank you for doing this.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Okay, who wants to go next? Ben, you're raising your hand. Okay. So say where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
I wanted to go
your
next because I'll be driving in the car in a minute, and then I can go to listening mode. But my name's Ben Lemasters. A lot of people know me as Master Lemasters. I am a 4th degree martial artist with 32 years experience. I have this wonderful blinking sign behind me, and that is my school. And I first heard about Juice Plus when I was 16 years old, getting ready to take my 2nd degree black belt test. I knew Sharon Farrar and Karen way back then. And we were told if we were going to be instructors at that school, we were going to take Juice Plus. We did not have a choice, and it would be deducted from our paycheck. But all I can say is, despite being forced to do it, it was a blessing. And I wish I had been doing it consistently for the last 16 years, but I have not. So you guys don't know me because I haven't been consistent. But now I use Juice Plus as a way to help teach self-defense from the inside as well as from the outside. So that is my last class for today. I'm not the instructor, thankfully. So I'm going to keep it short and thank everybody. And I'll meet you guys soon.
Okay, yeah, Ben already has like a couple of team members. He's so passionate about sharing and helping people with nutritional defense. So I love that he's come up with that. Okay, who wants to be next? Any volunteers? Okay, Debbie. Debbie's got a fantastic story.
If my voice cooperates tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie DeJesse. I met Karen at a health fair at Broward College when I was working there because I had bought a tower garden. My husband affectionately calls me a horticultural terrorist. I could never grow anything. And I saw a tower garden at an art fair in Orlando when we were with friends, and I said, I want that. And they didn't do any marketing or any teaching or anything with me. They just said, here it is. It'll be delivered, blah, blah, blah. See you later. Bye. So when I ran into Karen and she had a tower set up, I immediately went over to her and looked for resources to help me learn how. There is a bit of a learning curve. And she introduced me to Juice Plus. And I said, oh, no, no, no. I'm healthy. I've never really had a weight problem. I eat well. I love fruits and vegetables, but I do have a granddaughter who has chronic constipation, and they've had her on medication for like 2 years, and she's only 12. And there has to be a better solution. Of course, her diet was drive-through and boxes, no real food, no fruits and vegetables. So I signed up to get her the product, and my husband, who doesn't really like fruits and vegetables, well, didn't really, that's changed, another story. So I signed him up with her in the family health study. And yes, it helped between the shakes and the capsules, which I had to be a little creative because she didn't really like them initially. But we can be stealth as parents or grandparents. So that fixed that problem. And I continued to think I really didn't need it until I had neck surgery in 2016. And they placed my right vocal cord. And I couldn't eat and I had no voice. And today it's kind of in and out. So I'm sorry if it's hard to hear me. But I said, wait, I've got these products at home that are very healthy, that I know they're very healthy. As a nurse, I love research and I've looked into all of that. And so let me just start taking these because I can't eat regular food. And oh my gosh, what a change it made in my life. All kinds of different things. I healed quicker. The energy, the sleep, dental issues. I mean, just again, subtly, but it helped me bridge that difference when I didn't even think I had a gap. It helped me recover from my surgery, which put me on disability, unfortunately. And as a nurse, that was really, really, really frustrating. But I love the community, whether I am spending a lot of time building or just being in the community, because as a nurse and healthcare provider, it wasn't until I was a patient that I started looking at options, that I didn't have to be on the laundry list of medications they had me on. The insurance company bought me a scooter. I was in that bad a shape. I've got arthritis everywhere. And again, like physicians, they don't really teach you a lot about prevention and nutrition. So this opened my eyes to looking at more holistic ways of treating and managing pain and function, massage therapy, nutrition, and what have you. So this community kind of ties together all of those professionals, and it's an awesome opportunity to help other people, which I've always loved to do. So, and now I can see it from both sides. So my empathy level, my compassion, while it was always there, it's a lot different now because of the journey that I've been on. The first few years was very difficult for me because it was hard for me to explain to somebody what they could do to be better when I didn't feel better. But that's kind of a challenge, especially if you're new or you're not real familiar with the product. But it gives me the opportunity to share and give hope to other people. And again, I've got 1,000 stories of different people who have benefited, but in a nutshell, that's kind of where I am. And I was from South Florida, but I moved into my RV full time about a year ago. So right now we're in Colorado Springs. And the biggest challenge about living in the RV, Pete and I get along great. We love traveling. I miss my tower garden. And my RV is not big enough for me. Some people with the big RVs, they can travel and put them in the shower. And I have looked at the community and spoken to a bunch of people, but I don't have that much space and we're still moving too frequently to make that practical. But I didn't get rid of it. It's in storage in South Florida. So, and my kids both have them. So when I get back there in November, I'll be able to engage in that again. And now that it's cooler outside, I'm looking forward to trying the sourdough. Because being in a small space with only a 30 amp service, turning on an oven to 400 plus degrees in a small space, and keeping it cool in here was a bit challenging, but sourdough's always been my favorite. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So first of all, I love when you were like, we are in, and you actually had to think about
I had to think, I don't know.
Yeah. I swear every other day she's posting somewhere new. I totally have FOMO.
We've been here for a week. We're going to New Mexico next to the balloon fiesta.
Oh
And then we'll be in Tennessee, and then we're making our way back down to Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, but
So-
I'll see you in Charlotte.
Yes, so Debbie's going to be at conference. So hopefully some of you guys can make it to conference. Okay, so I am looking at Melody. How about you go, Melody?
Okay, sorry, I've got a friend here. Okay, I'm Melody. I have been doing Juice Plus business for about 1.5 years now. But I had my daughter on it years ago. I met Bridget, who is Jules' sister-in-law, at a vendor event where she was a vendor. And then I took her to the grill so to speak, because I was looking for a whole food vitamin for my daughter who was 2, and there really wasn't anything on the market. So I just grilled her like every single question that you could possibly think of to ask about vitamins. And I was really impressed with her knowledge. Like, I just thought, man, this girl really knows her stuff. So I ended up buying it for my daughter. And then a few years later, that's all I was doing. I was just buying the gummies for her, fighting with her every day to take them. And then a few years later, I got pregnant with my son. He was kind of a rainbow baby. And it took me a few weeks to notice, but I was using like a liquid whole food prenatal. And I was just really struggling that first trimester. Like, I had to take a nap every day before dinner. And it was really bad. I was also like 37, so much older, for being pregnant again. And some days I just would randomly steal her gummies if I wanted a little bit of sugar, because I couldn't eat much sugar at all. But if I just wanted a little something sweet, I'd steal her gummies. And it took me about 2 weeks to put it together. But on those days, I was not crashing. I had like major sustained energy. So I ended up buying it and using it as my prenatal. So I asked Bridget if it could be used that way, and she sent me a video, and I'm like, sold. And so I had the most amazing pregnancy, and I had a 10-pound baby at home and used Juice Plus the whole time. And he started asking for it at 8 months old, and now both my kids have been on it consistently since. He's 3.5. And I will say that even though we had open heart surgery at 5 months old, Lucas has never had a sick visit to the doctor. And he's been a Juice Plus baby from the beginning. So everything that Casey Schloss talks about with having Juice Plus babies and breastfeeding him for 3 years, and from the pregnancy on, it really does matter, and how the babies come into the world. Like, it really does matter. So I see that with him as evidence. Now, my daughter too, she also hasn't had a sick visit, but it's just been, she's a pharmacist. Thank you. Yes. For those who don't know, and she speaks at conference sometimes. So it's just been an incredible journey. So I love it. I love sharing it. My husband's a chiropractor, so a lot of my customers come from our clinic. And so I run all the nutrition part with them. And but I share it with everyone as well, out and about. I'm not as extroverted as people think. So I do struggle with just like meeting someone at Walgreens or on the soccer field. Like, I'm kind of the I'm not going to people today type of personality. Everyone thinks I'm very extroverted, but I have a solid customer base, thankfully, like, because my husband and I mesh well. Like, he makes the recommendation, and then I do the follow-up. And I got 6 orders this week, so I'm like on a roll this week. I was like, okay, and I'm also a new homeschool mom. So basically I want to pull my hair out, like all of it, not just the fake extensions. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a chance to talk to real adult humans again. So I'm going to get all of these orders and feel like I'm making a difference in the world, since I literally don't feel like my daughter and I are like meshing at all with any of this. So but yeah, so that's my story. Love Juice Plus. And one of the things I always remind myself of is that every time I get an order, it's not about increasing my paycheck or my side business or growing stability. My why is like that this is a direct reflection of how many people and lives I'm changing. And I even just told someone tonight, I said, she's like, how do you know all this stuff? I said, because I've been sitting in the valley of sickness, and very much like Debbie, I sat there for 8.5 years. And I didn't even feel like I had a Juice Plus story the first year or so I was on it. Because I was still so sick. But I've had the opportunity to work with some of the top doctors in the United States, and I've spent thousands of dollars in alternative medicine searching for answers. And Juice Plus has been a absolute critical part of that journey in my health. And I'm not even there. It's not like I've arrived. It's just a journey. And every day is a blessing. And so every time I get to help someone a little bit on their journey and just build that, it's like a foundation. You don't build your foundation for your health on feathers. It's going to crumble. You build it on solid concrete, And so that's what Juice Plus is. And that's what I tell people.
That's awesome. Yeah, and Melody and Lance get to help so many of the patients, in their chiropractic office, which is, awesome. Okay, so Renee, I'm gonna call on you.
Thank you. Thank you. I love hearing everybody's story. And I wrote my story down. I shared this with Karen the other day. And I wrote it down because it's very personal, and I don't want to miss out on any of the details of it. So just bear with me, if you will, for just a moment. I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So if you guys want to come visit, come on. You can come stay with me. We enjoy it down in this area. Karen and I met when we were in high school. She was from Virginia Beach and moved to Williamsburg, where I lived at the time, and we became friends years ago. I've worked in the medical admin field for over 30 years and have loved every minute of it. And Karen introduced me to Juice Plus about 2 years ago. Actually, she had talked to me before that. I think we added up, it was 5 years that she'd been talking to me about it. And I signed up 2 years ago. But anyway, let me share my story, and I hope that this provides some insight. My name is Renee. Of course, my husband and I have been married for 31 years, and we have 2 sons and 5 grandchildren. We're like most people and are busy on the go with work, family, volunteering, and helping with grandkids. And I'm sure you guys' lives are equally as busy, so you get that. We lived the majority of our lives eating the standard American diet, which returned to us a handful of standard American diseases, among them autoimmune, high blood pressure, anxiety, chronic fatigue, aches and pains, to name just a few. I became so frustrated with spending valuable time and money on medications and doctor's visits that I determined to find a better way. We wanted to incorporate simple steps into our busy schedules and try to get off the medications, which had side effects. A little over 2 years ago, a dear friend shared with us a way to get more fruits and veggies into our diet. Juice Plus, whole food in a capsule. Taking capsules is easy enough, so what did we have to lose? My husband had had high blood pressure for more than 20 years, and historically his blood pressure on medication had been 140/80. The normal range today is at 120/80. Within 6 weeks of taking Juice Plus, his blood pressure at the physician's office was 119/72. He called me on his way home to tell me the news. I cried. He'd been dealing with the side effects of the medication, and I had told him to suck it up. That's basically the way it's going to be. In 2020, just prior to COVID, he was diagnosed with not 1, not 2, but 3 autoimmune diseases. No family history, and a medication was prescribed that no family history, and he was prescribed a medication that with prolonged use had been shown to cause vision damage. With the realization of benefits of Juice Plus with his blood pressure and whole food nutrition, he discontinued this medication, and on the next visit, his rheumatologist had his labs redrawn. Results showed no sign of any of those autoimmune diseases. Juice Plus makes no claims to cure any disease or ailment. What I'm sharing with you is our experience of adding a variety of 30 fruits and vegetables into our diet each day. There's absolutely no way I could eat, much less afford, that amount of food every day, and certainly couldn't eat it before it spoils. Our bodies need the right fuel to operate the way they were intended, and research shows that fuel and nutrition comes from plants. To date, a combined weight for both of us of more than 90 pounds, improved sleep, for me, less anxiety, more energy, and eliminating all prescribed medications. My husband is on half of a blood pressure pill, which we fully expect his physician to discontinue at his next visit this fall. We signed up with Juice Plus and aligned with our mission to inspire healthy living with others. What we discovered on this journey is that disease is expensive, health is wealth, and we're choosing to pay the farmer now versus paying the pharmacist to keep us alive. Juice Plus is one of the best investments we have, and it checks all the boxes for us. So that's my personal story with my husband and I. I could tell you that I have a granddaughter who is 14 months old, who was born with Down syndrome. Her mother was taking Juice Plus as a prenatal. That baby girl had open heart surgery. Melody at 5 months old as well. She had 3 holes in her heart. One that was so large it was actually invisible to the physician's eye. He could actually see it. But she is recovered. She was discharged 2 days in advance of the standard day. So she was taking Juice Plus through her formula. They now feed her Juice Plus. They open the capsules and put that in her baby food, and they feed that to her. She's learning to drink from a straw, which is a huge achievement. And at 14 months old, she has an occupational therapist This woman also has an adult child with Down syndrome who is 22 or 23, and she's measuring the milestone. So my little Margaret is a little ahead of the milestone of other children with Down syndrome and right on target for children who do not have Down syndrome with their milestone. So it's pretty remarkable. I know that the whole food nutrition that baby is getting into her body is truly making a difference for her. I can tell you that going back to the research, several of y'all have mentioned the research. Out of all the research, I think the one that really impacts me the most is on cardiovascular disease, where Juice Plus was given to two different groups. Both were fed, or one group and placebo to the other. And we're looking at high fat foods and how they impacted the constriction on our vascular arteries in the heart. And it was amazing to me that those on Juice Plus had a reduction in the constriction versus those that did not. They added berries from the fruit and vegetable blend, and the constriction was even less. So having a father who had congestive heart failure, a brother who died at age of 34 from congestive heart failure and a cardiac event, that meant a lot to me. And then I have another brother who it'll be 2 years ago, this Thanksgiving Eve, had a major heart attack and had to be resuscitated 4 times to be brought back. He now has 25% heart functionality. So do I believe that Juice Plus can do what it says it can do? Absolutely, I do. And that research alone means the world to me because of those heart incidents in my own family. So I take it, my husband takes it. I go for my doctor's visit. I have no constriction. I have no plaque buildup in my heart. And I'm not contributing 100% to that Juice Plus. What I'm saying is that it bridges the gap between what I'm eating and what I don't. And it's almost like a security blanket for me, knowing that I'm making a difference in my future, me moving forward and doing the best thing to protect my health. Anybody time me?
I mean, no. No, but that's, I mean, oh my goodness, amazing. Okay, Jules.
Hey, I have one I'm trying to get to eat. One is going to be home in like 5 minutes. So it's a little crazy over here right now. But it's like he just came home from practice and he's outside doing more sports stuff. Well, I know most of you guys. I just don't know Dawn and KJ, but I don't know, Karen, if Sharon told you or Ben told you, but I got to see him at Sharon's house not that long ago.
Yes,
yeah. So I was like, Ben. So you guys know my story, but you know, obviously it has changed a little bit over the years, but I've been with the company for probably 15 years because I signed my agreement to be a distributor the same day I signed up for the product because I saw a wellness presentation and it just made sense to me. I was not eating enough fruits and vegetables. I wasn't feeling really great. However, at the time, I didn't know I wasn't feeling great until people started pointing out that you shouldn't be really tired in the afternoon. Your hair shouldn't be falling out at age 28. Your nails shouldn't be breaking and you shouldn't have like really bad acne. So I was like, oh, maybe there's something that I need to do differently. So I started taking the Juice Plus, but also I saw the benefits of the product because of the research and because of the third party, certification behind the product. I knew there was people in my life, my dad, who's a diabetic, my brother, who's overweight, my client with, macular degeneration, all these things. I was thinking, gosh, if I could use Juice Plus, they definitely could use Juice Plus. So it just made sense to me that I would take it, I would share it with others. And that's kind of what I did at the beginning. I was they call it ignorance on fire. I didn't know any better. I just knew that good nutrition could help any medical condition. I wasn't claiming to cure anything. I just thought if, you could get more fruits and vegetables into your body's going to perform better on every different level. So that was 15 years ago. I was single. I met my husband and we had 3 kids. They're all Juice Plus babies. I took Juice Plus as my prenatal for all 3 of them, which was just a complete blessing. Like Renee, you talking about your granddaughter, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, these kids that thrive on Juice Plus. And, you know, I heard the stories of Juice Plus babies, but my babies were like that. And all the doctors said something, all the nurses said something, my parents said something, like, how are they holding their head up at 1 day old? And my placenta, I know that's probably gross, but like my placenta, the nurses were like, your placenta is gigantic and so red. And so I guess that's not normal. And so it was just interesting how nutrition can affect every aspect of your physiology. And I just am so grateful that I gave my babies that start in life, and they still take it every day, except when I run out of gummies. But now they swallow the capsules, and they drink the shakes, or they make a smoothie bowl all by themselves. The bars, it's funny because Trish left, but she said she's only on the bars, and Melody goes, that's the only thing I don't sell. But I literally live on the bars. There's always one in my purse. That is the one product we don't run out of. We run out of shake, we run out of gummies, but we never run out of bars. So yeah, I was able to share enough that I was able to, you know, let go of all these fitness classes I was teaching as my career. And one by one, I let each one go because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And I was able to do that. And now I'm able to realize another dream of just of doing real estate alongside Juice Plus. And so this business has been, I don't know, Melissa or who said it. I mean, it's been a blessing in so many different ways, not just the product and the health aspects, but the community and the financial. And I mean, it's kind of overwhelming if you sit and think about like how many things have come from the business. So yeah, that's my story.
I love it. So what I love is I was there that night when Madeline and I talked to Jules.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I've been there from the get-go. That's been so fun.
It was a long time ago. And I do think, I mean, I got some, like, I heard somebody say glitter streaks. I have some glitter streaks and wrinkles and stuff, but I do think I look better. Like the day I signed up, I was like real puffy and acne, and looking back, I now know that was like a layer of inflammation. It wasn't fat. It was like inflammation on my body. It's just crazy how that can look on somebody. But
yeah. Okay. Dawn, are you able to tell your story, or do you want to wait until you're stopped? I don't know how far you are from home.
I have quite a drive, and the weather's pretty bad, but I could do my best. I'm not holding the phone. I have it somewhere in the car, but can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Well, my story could probably be a Zoom meeting in itself, but to cut it short, years ago, when my youngest was 11 months old, I was diagnosed with terminal colon rectal cancer, which that was back in 2009. So I did beat it, of course. But it was years of surgeries, chemo, years of abuse on the body, period. And I elected to I had a colonoscopy bag that I had reversed. I'm sorry, ileostomy bag that I had reversed. Of course, it was my choice, not the doctor's. I had a lot of issues from that because I've had a lot of things removed. Let's just say that intestines, you know, part of kidneys or whatever. This past December, I did start Juice Plus, but I had heard about it for a few years from our friend Melina, which I'm sure a lot of you know. And, you know, I was saying, no, I've tried every supplement, but they don't help. Well, this past December, I had to make a choice, whether to have the bag put on, back on, or, you know, I had scheduled surgery to have the bag put on. And I said, well, what do I have to lose? Let me just try one more. So I tried it. And within 2 weeks, it made a huge difference. So, surgery was canceled. I did not have to have the bag put on because it was helping me in areas, that, you know, in all areas to help me be able to process food better. I cannot eat a lot of the fruits and vegetables because, my body can't digest it regularly. So I absolutely wasn't getting enough nutrition. But I didn't realize that because I thought I was doing the best I could. And not only did it stop that surgery from happening and allow me to still live a life as normal as possible, it has brought all my blood values into normalcy. Pre-diabetic, I'm great. My liver enzymes are great. Everything was elevated, kidney, everything. And I'm not saying again that it's a miracle cure, but it definitely gave me what I was lacking from not being able to eat properly. So and I do the shakes, I do the capsules. I'm a little nuts about it because, you know, I have a shake every day with all the capsules in it. And it really holds me off for a better part of the morning until lunchtime. But alongside me, I also have my mother and my father on it, and my husband. And my father's, all his blood work is come down as far as pre-diabetic, his blood pressure, all of that. He's off of the blood pressure medicine. He is 78 and was on medicine for a while. My mom was on oxygen, her blood pressure out of control, blood sugar. The doctor recently just took her off oxygen. Well, I haven't shared this with you, Karen, yet. I know this is a shock too. So she's not going to have to be dependent on oxygen anymore, which was a crutch for her at this point. Her blood sugar is normal, her blood pressure is normal. So a lot of her medications have decreased, which is awesome. And her heart muscle has strengthened, which has been a real scary thing for us because she was probably not going to make it throughout the year. She was just in the hospital again. But again, with the gapping the bridge for her, and she's having a hard time with it because she's not used to not having her oxygen and all that medicine. So she's trying to deal with it. And also about 3 weeks ago, I went to my oncologist, and they have now deemed me cured. And I'm the first one of his patients that, I'm sorry, I've got a big story, so I'm sorry, and I wasn't prepared for this. So I'm healed, and two of his interns came in to meet me because I'm that case for him that I had a 3% chance of surviving. And, you know, obviously you have the miracle of God and you have all treatments and everything. And I really believe 100% with all my heart that finding Juice Plus made a huge difference for me as far as being more energetic, helping me with my depression, which I fight greatly. But I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, but I will cut it off there because I'll start babbling. So, but yes, and I'm trying to, I need to get more proactive with sharing it. I've had a tough year recently with life happening again. But definitely, I believe in the product 100%.
So I'm sorry for whoever has to follow between Renee and Dawn. Because I always feel like, gosh, I don't have a great story, but it's okay. Quite honestly, not everybody's going to have those stories, right? It's actually even almost more powerful and easier for people to comprehend when you say, I can't eat fruits and vegetables, so this helps me, or I'm not going to eat fruits and vegetables and this helps me. So not everybody has to have these incredible stories. But Dawn, I had no idea with your dad and your mom off oxygen. That is incredible. So her dad, he was just the nicest guy. We were doing the family and friends Zoom, but he refused to start on Juice Plus. It was a few months before he would get started on Juice Plus. He was very skeptical. And now look, he's probably so grateful that he finally said yes, right?
Yes, he is. He, of course, my dad, he's very old school, so he hated to admit the difference that it's made in him because he wanted to be able to tell me that it didn't do bleep bleep for him. So, but yes, he's definitely a believer himself, and I told him about my mom, and I'm gonna try to get my brother on it too, who is, and him and his daughter are both insulin dependent. So I need to get my act together and kind of send him some information, but he's definitely interested. So he has seen what it has done for me and especially my mother. So
I love that. So, you know, what's interesting is this is one of the reasons why we want to also talk to our customers, right? Like Dawn and I actually haven't spoken in a few months, probably. We've done some text back and forth, but I didn't know the story. But what's interesting is I have a customer and she's been a customer for over a year. And she's been giving some of the gummies when her kids don't take them consistently. She was giving some of the gummies to her mom. And then her mom apparently was doing so well that she was sharing her product with it. Her mom was on oxygen. And after a year of being on Juice Plus, the doctor took her off of oxygen, which I didn't even know that could be a thing. You know what I mean? Like it just is so fat that now that's 2 stories. That's incredible. So L'Oreal,
I'm trying to get them on a Zoom, but they're a bit shy. So
yeah, I get it, especially when they're kind of old school, you know, but it's maybe if it's just a family and friends, you know.
I wonder if that the oxygen kind of goes back to Renee's story and that study with the dilation of the arteries, because if your arteries are dilated, you're getting more oxygen to your heart and your lungs.
Yeah, I
interesting.
That I knew it was like, I'm not a medical expert like a couple of you, but you know, I'm like, it's got to be something with the cardiovascular, right? Like it's, you know, so, and the lungs, we also have lung research as well. So whatever it was, it's incredible that it's, you know, that it helps. So L'Oreal, I don't know if you're available to talk or not.
Yes, I was wondering if I was going to remember to get my mute off. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I think I was feeling the same way, like, oh, I don't have like a, incredible, miraculous story like, some of the ladies have shared here. And but my story is that I got involved in this after I did Melody. Melody's a good friend of mine from Bible study. And I believe we met in 2021 or I don't know the year of COVID. I think it was the fall of COVID. And and then we shared and became friends more with a Bible study, and she began sharing about it. And I, was like, oh, I tried so many vitamins, and I was trying to get as many like ones for my son, like the good kinds, and what I thought was so good, the organic or this or that, and still they had cane sugar and stuff, and it was hard to say whether they were helping him or not because he was pretty healthy anyway, and kids go and go. But I didn't really feel like any of these vitamins helped me, and years I had been on different kinds of medication, and some of them were related with anxiety and depression, and that has significantly reduced. But I, after grilling, I was a skeptic. I was very much skeptic, especially since I spent so much money on supplements, not nearly as much like in medical expenses, like holistic doctors or anything like that. but you know, I kept looking into it, kept in my, and I felt like my friendship with Melody helped, like, my confidence in it, that, like, you know, she didn't come off as a, like, lofty person, or like a like, you know, woohoo, you know, like, you know, like someone who just, like, became a believer of something so quick, you know. And, you know, everything I listened to when she was, like, so knowledgeable about it, like, hey, this does really make sense. And so it was like completely eye-opening about the artificialness, syntheticness of vitamins, versus, you know, getting them from the food that it was like, I was like looking at these years, like thinking, what amount of money I just wasted taking these things that I'm thinking I'm doing something good for myself. And it was like basically just taking a sugar pill or something. And so I started on my Juice Plus with for myself, and then for my son in the Healthy Start in, I believe it was February or March of 2022, and then decided to join be an affiliate in August 2022. So I just had my 1 year anniversary, and I was thinking, like, I never really thought about this until I heard Jules mention it about cystic acne, and I had had issues with that. Like, I'd had issues with my skin, like, you know, so much of my life, and even still into my adult years. And then I realized, I'm like, wow, that has been significantly better. It's changed a whole lot. And that I'm thinking it has to be something to do with, you know, she noticed the same kind of thing. I thought it might be, you know, connected to that. And so I definitely have noticed also, we have in the family some issues with allergies. Now they've been acting up again, but my son has struggled with allergy issues big time. And so when I talked to Bridget once, at one of the live events we had at Melody's husband's office, you know, she talked about how much her kids have issues with allergies and shots, and you know, just miserable time. And she said, you know, I don't remember how many years, you know, the kids have been on it, that they like almost completely recovered, or are, and they don't need allergy medicine anymore. Okay, Ryan is only, you know, 5 or 4 or 5 at the time, and I was just on the 5. And I'm like, if I could get this started now, you know, because I did too, you know, I wanted to breastfeed as long as possible, and I was able to do that for about 3.5 years, and I was, you know, and I ignored anybody who was critical about that, and I thought, you know, I know how bad my allergies have been. I wanted to get the best shot possible, especially since, you know, I didn't have Juice Plus as a prenatal, and I wish I had. Um, but you know what, you know, when you learn, you just go from there. And I'm just thankful that, you know, I can get that into a system now. And so it seems like it has significantly made better. I mean, we've had a few here and there of you know, of sick visits. So I don't have as good of a, like, you know, testimony about, like, as Melody does for kids. But I feel like it's not as much, like, I, you know, hear like my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, you know, say, oh, so and so's at patient birth, or so, you know, like it seemed like it was like all, you know, it was so often. And oh, and that was kind of discouraging, was like where I felt like talking with my family was the biggest challenge, because, like, not that anybody would be disrespectful or dismissive to me, but, like, didn't want to, like, take me seriously, like, oh, this is a nice hobby that you do. You know, nobody said that, but, like, you kind of got that impression. And, you know, it's like, even like talking with my parents, you know, that, oh, you know, it's like it's kind of like deflating when it's like, even your own family, like, oh my gosh, you know. But other people have said the same thing, that they've, like, had to work on their family for, you know, months, years, or whatever. And so, you know, like Melody says, some of these people in my life are just slow cookers. So,
Yeah. Well, and you heard that with Dawn's story too, with her dad. That happens with a lot of us. So, that's one of the reasons why why I kind of wanted to do this, honestly. Hello. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because what can happen sometimes is we get discouraged, right? We get some no's, we get people who, are like, I don't know, Juice Plus, I'm happy with my vitamins. So it's easy to kind of get discouraged and stop sharing. But then for me, it becomes so powerful when I hear everybody's story. And I think if I had not shared, right, with Jules, if I had not shared with Debbie DeJesse, if I had not shared with, Milena for Dawn, like these people wouldn't have been helped. So that's what keeps me going. So I'm sorry to cut you off, L'Oreal. I know we've been on here for an hour, so I want to respect everybody's time.
No, I realize that. Yeah, but thank you.
So KJ, I know KJ, I would love to hear. KJ is new and I don't even know that she's ordered her product yet. But what I would love to hear is just in a couple of minutes, I don't know whether you're able to put yourself on the screen or not, KJ, if you're there, is, what have you thought of some of the stories being shared? Are you driving too?
I actually just left Master LeMasters. I was in training, so I make a couple of stops on the way home, but I'm just excited about all these interesting stories. I'm brand new, like Miss Karen said, and I'm excited to get started. So I was introduced to Juice Plus by Master LeMasters, and I was able to meet Miss Karen and Miss Sharon. And, I love the benefits of it. I work out a lot. I work out probably 7 days a week. I run probably 18, 20 miles a week. I'm in the gym almost every day. I do karate training and, so I really need the benefits of healthy eating. So there's no purpose in me working out so much and, eating trash. So I try to eat healthy, but I don't have time to prepare, salads all day, every day, you know what I mean? Or the healthy stuff that I should be eating. So I really need the bridge, like Juice Plus bridges the gap from what we should be eating to what we actually eat. So I'm excited to get started. I haven't had a chance to get my products yet. But also, some of you know, I have a son who's autistic, and it's hard for me to get him to eat his vegetables and fruits and stuff too. He's very picky. He's, sensitive to certain things and smells and touch, textures and that kind of thing. So we were able to test some of the samples that Miss Karen bought when we had a meetup, and he loved the gummies. So I can't wait to, get him on it full time. So I'm pretty excited, to get started. And have some of these amazing success stories that I can share, one day.
I know. We're looking forward to you being able to help, people. Like I think about you with, some of the special needs communities, because your son does have autism. So I will wrap it up real quick. I know that you guys all probably know my story, so I will keep it very short and sweet. That, I was adopted. My birth mother had allergies and asthma. And now I don't know, I guess she's probably 80 years old. As a matter of fact, she has a lot of heart issues. She's got a lot of other stuff going on. So she's got some lung issues. Never really, took great care of herself. My adoptive mother was a nurse. So guess what? I got the best treatment possible. And so some people get excited about that. And I go, no, but I got the best treatment possible. So for years, guys, I don't even know at what age I got started. I can't remember a time where I wasn't on prescription meds and I wasn't getting allergy shots and I wasn't getting all of that stuff. And I would try to go, play outside with my friends and I'd be back in a half an hour wheezing and having a tough time breathing. So this went on until I got pregnant. And the doctors had told me there was nothing I could do. This is genetic, nothing you can do. And so when you're told there's nothing you can do, then you're like, well, then I'm going to have a Slurpee for lunch with Doritos. Like, if it's not going to matter, I might as well have fun while I'm eating. So, anyway, I got pregnant and my best friend said, okay, my family's been taking this for 2 years. I really want to share this with you. You need to take this if even during the pregnancy. So fast forward to the end of the pregnancy, and I wasn't allowed to take any of my prescription medicine. And I hadn't really realized, because a lot of times people, when you're not feeling well, but you don't necessarily feel that you're feeling better, right? Like you're feeling better, so it doesn't really hit you. And it wasn't until somebody said something about allergies and asthma, and I went, oh my gosh. I said, I hadn't even noticed and realized that I hadn't needed anything. So this past May was actually 19 years since I've been on any medication, which is amazing. Even antibiotics. I used to get ear infections. I've had pneumonia. I've had all kinds of stuff. I used to get sick all the time. So that's been such a blessing to me, as well as my kids. When they told me it was genetic, one of the first things when I got pregnant was, gosh, my kids are going to have allergies and asthma, right? Like this is what it is. I'm not going to not have kids because of it, but guess what? They don't have allergies and asthma. So, I feel so empowered as a mom. I get chills every time I tell that story, but I get chills, listening to everybody else's story as well. So anyway, that's why I continue to share it. I wanted to get everybody on here just to kind of meet each other, hear each other's stories, because it's been a little bit. And I just want to thank you guys for being on. So if anybody has any questions, I know we're over an hour, so I apologize. I think there was so many really powerful stories that I did not want to cut everybody off at 2 and 3 minutes. It was too good.
I had a question for Ben at the dojo. Are you coming to Charlotte for the conference?
I hadn't planned on it yet. Things are running by the seat of our pants, but that's what martial arts is all about. You work with what you got.
That's right. My husband took Shorin-ryu for years, and so I was thinking he's coming to conference with me. I just signed him up as a partner recently, and would love to connect you with him as well. I think you guys would have a lot in common.
Absolutely. I look forward to meeting him soon, but thank you.
And Debbie DeJesse, you're living my life, sister, the life I want. Camping, driving with a travel trailer, touring all over the place. I'm jealous.
I have such FOMO every time she posts pictures.
I know.
I may actually have to defriend her because I can't take it anymore. So
Debbie, are you coming to Charlotte as well for conference? Did I hear you say that? Good. Well, I can't wait to see you, girl. I think it'll be the first time.
It's been a bit challenging because I have to fly out of one city and then fly back in somewhere else with Pete driving in the middle. So I think we've worked